March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 departs Kuala Lumpur for Beijing, carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members. It's a routine flight, or so it seems. Within hours, the world would be plunged into one of aviation's most confounding mysteries, as this Boeing 777 vanished without a trace, leaving families, investigators, and the globe searching for answers that may never come. The flight, piloted by Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, was expected to land in Beijing in just over 6 hours. On board were businessmen, students, families, and crew, many unaware that their journey would end in uncertainty. Air travel is usually routine, but over the South China Sea, radar contact would abruptly cease. No distress calls, no signal, just silence. At 1:19 a.m. local time, the aircraft's transponder stopped transmitting, and military radar lost track of the plane. What followed was frantic communication between air traffic controllers and the airline, but nothing was heard. Investigators pieced together satellite handshakes from the plane to an Inmarsat satellite, showing it turned west over the Strait of Malacca, heading into the Indian Ocean. Somewhere over thousands of kilometers of ocean, MH370 disappeared into the night. The ensuing search was massive, spanning the South China Sea, the Strait of Malacca, and the remote Indian Ocean. Deep-sea drones, sonar scans, and satellite imagery revealed scattered debris across thousands of square kilometers, but no main fuselage or flight recorders were recovered. Governments, airlines, and families worked tirelessly, yet the mystery persisted. Every lead raised more questions than answers, leaving a shadow of doubt and fear. Speculation runs rampant. Some believe mechanical failure or fire caused the crash. Others suggest pilot involvement, deliberate actions to redirect the plane. Hijacking, catastrophic decompression, or even a combination of human and technical errors have been proposed. Some theories are darker still: military involvement, secret cargo, or global cover-ups. Every theory is debated, none confirmed, leaving MH370 suspended in a liminal space between reality and speculation. MH370 changed aviation safety forever, prompting better tracking systems and emergency protocols. Yet for the families of the 239 souls, closure remains elusive. The plane, its passengers and crew have become part of a global mystery, immortalized in documentaries, books, and podcasts. The vanishing of MH370 continues to haunt us, a stark reminder of how fragile life is and how vast the unknown can be. February 1959. 9 experienced hikers set out into the frigid Ural Mountains of Soviet Russia, equipped for adventure, skill, and survival. Days later, their tent is found torn open from the inside, bodies scattered in strange positions across the snow, some partially undressed in sub-zero temperatures, others with inexplicable injuries. What happened on Dyatlov Pass remains one of history's most chilling mysteries. The hikers, mostly students and recent graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, were seasoned and well prepared. They sought to reach Ural Mountain, but severe winter conditions made the trek dangerous. Their journey was carefully planned, yet fate intervened in ways no one could have imagined. Search parties found the tent on February 26th, ripped open from the inside. The hikers' bodies were found at varying distances, some under trees, some in ravines. The scene was strange. No signs of struggle with other people, no footprints other than their own, yet injuries suggested extreme force. Some had fractured skulls and ribs. One woman was missing her tongue. Soviet investigators were baffled. Initial reports suggested an avalanche, but the tent showed no signs of collapse. Forensic analysis indicated that radiation was present on some clothing, and the injuries seemed inconsistent with a simple fall. The lack of clear evidence, combined with harsh winter conditions and limited technology, left the case unsolved and increasingly eerie. Over the decades, theories have multiplied. Avalanche? Possibly, but inconsistent with the injuries. Military tests? Some claim secret weapons or parachute mines. Infrasound panic, a rare phenomenon causing irrational terror. Animal attacks, unlikely due to nature of injuries. Even alien encounters have been suggested in popular culture. Each theory captures part of the puzzle, but leaves gaps that deepen the mystery, ensuring the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains a topic of fascination and fear. The Dyatlov Pass Incident has inspired books, documentaries, and endless online investigations. The hiker's fate continues to evoke questions about human vulnerability, the power of nature, and the limits of knowledge. Their story is a chilling reminder that even the most prepared among us can be overwhelmed by the unknown. On the cold evening of November 24, 1971, a man identifying himself as Dan Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 in Portland, Oregon. A quiet, sharply dressed, middle-aged man carrying a briefcase who ordered a bourbon and soda and sat calmly among the unsuspecting passengers before revealing that he had a bomb, handing a note to a flight attendant that would change his life and the course of aviation history, demanding $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a refueling stop in Seattle. After which he released all 36 passengers unharmed but retained the flight crew, instructing them to fly toward Mexico City while he remained on board with the ransom money and the parachutes. Then, somewhere over the rugged forests and mist-shrouded hills of southwestern Washington, Cooper opened the plane's rear air stair in a daring leap into darkness, disappearing into the night with neither trace nor confirmation of his survival, leaving behind a baffled crew, an airplane with flaps down and gear lowered, and a mystery that has endured for over 50 years, spawning one of the largest and most perplexing manhunts in FBI history called Norjack, which questioned hundreds of suspects, followed thousands of leads, and examined thousands of hours of interviews, yet yielded no conclusive evidence. Although in 1980, a young boy discovered $5,800 of the ransom money buried along the Columbia River, eroding in sand, and raising tantalizing questions about whether Cooper had survived or perished. Over decades, countless theories emerged. Some propose he died during the jump, succumbing to the elements, cold and rugged terrain, while others argue he survived with survival skills or military training and lived under a new identity, with attention often falling on Richard Floyd McCoy Jr., a former Army paratrooper who executed a similar hijacking a year later and had the technical skill to survive such a leap, or on metallurgist Vince Peterson, whose work with titanium may explain metal traces found on Cooper's recovered tie. In 2023, aviation researcher Dan Grider discovered a military surplus parachute rig at McCoy's late mother A.S. property, a find that renewed speculation and evidence collection, though DNA has yet to definitively link McCoy or any suspect to Cooper, leaving open the possibilities that he was a criminal mastermind who vanished perfectly, a desperate man who perished in the wild, or someone entirely unknown who slipped through history's grasp. While cultural fascination persists through books, documentaries, podcasts, and ongoing amateur investigations, drawing attention to the audacity of his crime, the meticulous nature of his planning, the mystery of the money, mostly unrecovered, and the haunting idea that somewhere in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, a man or a legend landed unseen, leaving behind a puzzle that law enforcement, historians, and thrill-seekers alike continue to ponder, wonder at, and debate, ensuring that D.B. Cooper remains one of America's most enigmatic, audacious, and enduring unsolved mysteries, a story where fact, legend, and speculation blur every detail, from the sketch released to the public, to the flight path and weather reports, to the singular note and the scattered bills, adding texture and suspense to a case that will never fully let go of the imagination.